I recall the advice that I received concerning getting my first textbook published a year or so after completing my doctoral studies. This is what I kept hearing. It's going to be hard. Getting published is impossible. You're unknown. Who would want to publish what you, a 30-year-old novice, has to say? And the like. Yet I never bought into that logic. Consequently, I didn't adopt the "it's going to be difficult" excuse meme. I sent out 100 copies of my manuscript, and within a week I had 99 rejection letters. But I also had an offer from a small publisher in New Jersey. Essentially, what others thought of as a challenge didn't strike me as such. I knew instinctively that someone, somewhere, would be interested in what I had to say, and it all came about with relative ease. Are you 100% certain that what you wish to accomplish is going to be a challenge? Is it plausible that what you desire isn't actually difficult, but might in fact require very little effort? While you may feel that it isn't likely, you have to admit that the possibility of its being easy rather than hard is real. Keep in mind that all of the seemingly impossible happenings that occur under the guise of what Carl Jung called synchronicity do so with a kind of ease and inexplicably bizarre twist of fate in which little or no effort is expended. This happens to us all quite frequently, particularly when we're more aligned with spirit than the material world. There seems to be what looks like a collaboration with destiny, and a magical connection takes place, making what was perceived to be hard rather easy. If the thought "it's going to be difficult" might not be true, then something could very well occur to make it not be difficult, which means that the habituated meme is false. So now you have a choice with this excuse. A, you can believe a thought, "it's going to be difficult," that is very likely false and most assuredly preventing you from accomplishing what you want. Or B, you can believe an opposite thought, "it will be easy." That could also be false, yet still assist you in fulfilling your desires. When there's a choice, the notion that something is possible or easy is hands down more inviting than the one that insists it's impossible or difficult. So, which thought do you wish to hold? I also recall quite clearly my experience getting national publicity for Your Erroneous Zones, my first book written for the general public, in 1976. The experts all proclaimed that it was next to impossible to get booked on The Tonight Show, The Phil Donahue Show, The Today Show, and so on. This ready-made excuse would have been as good a reason as any to give up. As it turned out, Howard Papish, a talent coordinator on The Tonight Show, read Your Erroneous Zones on a flight from New York to Los Angeles. He called me to come out for a pre-interview, and I was booked on the program a week later. Over the next 3 years, I made 37 appearances on The Tonight Show, and I was a guest on virtually every other national talk show as well. It turns out that this first excuse didn't apply at all. It was actually quite easy to get national media coverage. I only had to answer the telephone. So once again, if the belief that it will be difficult isn't 100% true, why would you choose to support that notion? Never once in 1976 did I say that getting on a national TV show would be hard. I trusted that the universe would provide experiences that matched my desires and that it would all work out for my highest good. The most important point is that by staying aligned with this thinking, I had no need to fall back on a tired, old, and untrue excuse. I've always held a very different concept about my ability to create the necessary financing for anything I've wanted or needed. As you're probably aware, my background is foster homes, scarcities, economic depression, and having to work for everything I've ever had from the age of 9 with my first paper route. Can you be 100% certain that you're unable to afford whatever it is that you would like to accomplish or purchase? If there's any doubt in your mind, no matter how unlikely prosperity may seem to you now, then you must reject this excuse. The opposite of "I can't afford it" is "I can afford it," even if I don't know at the moment how I can make it all come true financially. Once again, the importance of this question regarding your ability to raise money becomes evident. If the thought "I can afford it" is true or false, and the same can be said of "I can't afford it," then why ever opt for the idea that's almost guaranteed to keep you from reaching your goal? Perhaps you're convinced that you're in a position of being insolvent and unable to attract the financing for your dreams. One of the basic tenets of an excuses-begone mentality is that you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. Therefore, thinking about a dearth of cash aligns you with the concept of shortage and lack. The more you focus on what you don't have and can't get, the more you provide the universe with opportunities to offer up experiences that reflect those beliefs. By asserting that you can't afford something, you constantly confirm this expectation, which, by the way, is just as likely to be untrue as it is to be true. The belief itself becomes the source of what you attract. It serves as an obstacle to a universe of unlimited abundance. You have to outgrow this kind of immature thinking by reminding yourself that it makes much more sense to assert that you're prosperous instead of focusing on, I can't afford it. Attract the universal guidance that will help rather than the kind that hinders. Right here, right now, state, quote, I can never be absolutely certain that the financing I need or desire is not on its way. Thus the belief I can't afford it is false, and I refuse to let myself use this excuse, unquote. This is not about helping you manifest more money, although that's certainly a possibility. It's about helping you eliminate the excuse of I can't afford it from your life because using it keeps you aligned with lacks, shortages, and pain. Loving what you have and being in a continual state of contentment is the key to having what you want. Also, being willing to contemplate that whatever assistance you need is on its way, even when you can't predict where it's coming from, this helps you live in alignment with the laws of the universe. Since this is a universe of unlimited abundance, why have thoughts contrary to that truth? I've always said that what I need financially is not only on its way, but will arrive on time and is always for my highest good. In fact, it already exists. All I have to do is connect myself to it. Call me crazy if you will, but this kind of thinking has served me unfailingly. The point is that making the choice to take advantage of thinking I can afford it puts two things into practice. One, universal cooperation is activated by aligning with a universe that has no limits or shortages. And two, you begin to act on what you're thinking about.